Welcome to further mathematics class. In this class, we will be considering logic. Statements. What do you understand by the word statement? A statement is defined as a declarative sentence that is either true or false, but not both simultaneously. Example, if P represents a statement and 5 is greater than 2, is that statement true or false? It is true. If Q represents a statement and 2 is greater than 5, is that statement true or false? It is false. If R represents a statement and X is greater than 5, is that a statement? No, it is not a statement because X is not defined. Conjunctions. Conjunctions are true when both statements are true. The symbol is denoted by and. Also, if P represents a statement and Q represents another statement, P and Q is only true when statement P and statement Q are true. If statement P is true and statement Q is false, then P and Q is false. If statement P is false and statement Q is true, then statement P and Q is false. If statement P is false and statement Q is false, then P and Q is also false. Disjunctions. Disjunctions are true when either one or both statements are true, and it is denoted by the symbol or. Statement P and statement Q are represented in the table below, and also statement P or Q. If statement P is true and statement Q is true, then P or Q is said to be true. If statement P is true and statement Q is false, then P or Q is said to be true. If statement P is false and statement Q is true, then P or Q is said to be true. And lastly, if P is false and Q is false, then P or Q is said to be false. Negation. Given a statement P and Q, the negation of P and Q is written as negation P and negation Q. Given the table, the truth table below, we have statement P, statement Q, negation of P and negation of Q. If statement P is true and statement Q is also true, then negation of P is false, negation of Q is false. If statement P is true and statement Q is false, then negation of P is false and negation of Q is true, and so on. Example 1. Let P represent a false statement and Q represent a true statement. Find the truth value of the given compound statement. The first question is, P is said to be false from that question, and the negation of P is true. Therefore, the answer to that question is true. The negation of P and Q. If P is false and Q is true, then P and Q is said to be false, and therefore the negation of P and Q is said to be true. And the answer to that question is true. Conditional statements. I will start by saying that the simplest way to describe a conditional statement is if P, then Q. The statement P implies Q is false if the antecedent is true and the consequent is false. P represents the antecedent while Q represents the consequent. If statement P is true and statement Q is true, then the statement P implies Q is also true. If statement P is true and statement Q is false, statement P implies Q is false, and so on. The statement if P then Q is a combination of two simple statements P and Q. It is therefore called a compound statement. Symbolically, the statement if P then Q as P implies Q is read as P implies Q or P is sufficient for Q. Converse. Converse is the reverse of the conditional statement if Q, then P. Inverse is the negation of a conditional statement if negation of P, then negation of Q. Contrapositive. Contrapositive is the reverse negation of the conditional statement if negation of Q, then negation of P. Biconditional statement. Biconditional statement is when the conditional statement and converse have the same true or false value. It is represented by the symbol below. Example 2. Given the conditional statement, if you live in Lagos, then you live in Nigeria. Now, is the statement true or false? Let's find out. Living in Lagos means that you are living in Nigeria because Lagos is one of the cities in Nigeria. Converse. What is converse? Converse is the reverse of the conditional statement. And the reverse of that statement is if you live in Nigeria, then you live in Lagos. Is this statement true? It is not true. It is false because living in Nigeria does not necessarily mean that you are living in Lagos. You might live in any other city. So it is not true. It is false. Inverse. Inverse is the negation of the conditional statement. And the negation of that statement is if you don't live in Lagos, then you don't live in Nigeria. Is this statement true? The statement is not true because if you don't live in Lagos, you can live in another city in Nigeria, and it means that you are still living in the country, which is Nigeria. So if you don't live in Lagos, then you don't live in Nigeria is a false statement. Contrapositive. What is contrapositive? Contrapositive is the reverse negation of the conditional statement. And the reverse negation of that statement is if you don't live in Nigeria, then you don't live in Lagos. Is this statement true? Let's find out. All right. Nigeria is a country with many cities, including Lagos. Now, not living in Nigeria means you are not actually living in Lagos, which means that that statement is true and is not also biconditional. If conditional statement is true, then contrapositive statements will be true and vice versa. They must always have the same truth value. Also, if converse is true, then inverse will be true and vice versa. Example 3. Show that the conditional statement P implies Q and contrapositive statement negation of Q implies negation of P have the same truth table. Let's consider the conditional statement. If P and Q are both true, then the statement P implies Q is also true. If statement P is true and statement Q is false, the statement P implies Q is false. If statement P is false and statement Q is true, then the statement P implies Q is true. If statement P is false and statement Q is false, then the statement P implies Q is also true. Let's consider the contrapositive statement. Contrapositive statement is the reverse negation of the conditional statement, and that is negation of Q implies negation of P. And by observing this, the truth value for the conditional statement and contrapositive statement, they are both the same. Thank you for listening.